Let's smoke our. Let's talk our. The Raiders goddamn way. Let's do it. I'm telling you what,
What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to this channel and you would like to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Also, hit that bell so you're notified every time I come out with brand new content. And also, leave me a comment. I'll definitely respond to you guys. And also, please like this video. The last few videos, we've been really killing it. And let's try to reach our goal of over 100 likes. So please like this video. Well, Raider Nation, the Raiders finally did it. We finally announced that Antonio Pierce will be the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. And honestly, I couldn't be any happier. I know all of Raider Nation is very excited. Well, most of Raider Nation, that is. There's still those people out there that are going to complain just about everything, you know. But hey, nevertheless, I'm really excited about this move. All the players are excited about this move. You know, there's plenty of guys tweeting out, you know, Marcus Epps, Trayvon Merrick, Robert Spillane, Max Crosby, you know, Josh Jacobs even came out with a tweet and said, it's time to get to work. So, and that speaks volumes, guys, because he's set to be a free agent next year. And if, you know, he did state that if Antonio Pierce were to remain the head coach, that he would be 90% sure that he would remain a Raider. So that's really good. You know, as of right now, Patrick Graham is still on the coaching staff, so let's hope that he stays, because he has had a few head coaching interviews, and you know the Seattle Seahawks did interview him for their opening head coach job. So let's hope that he stays a Raider. And like I said, I'm really excited that we're keeping Antonio Pierce. You know, was it the right move? Hell yes, it was. You know, Mark Davis had to make this move. For the last 11, 12 years that he's been the owner, you know, he hasn't made his stamp as the owner of the Raiders. Yes, he moved the franchise from Oakland to Las Vegas, and you know, he brought the team's revenue up. But as far as building a winner, he has yet to do that. And a lot of Raider Nation was really starting to, you know, get annoyed of him, really starting to turn their back against him. And I really felt that with this move, he really reunited a lot of people. He really made a lot of Raider Nation somewhat of a believer. But now the real work start, guys. You know, just because we hired Antonio Pierce, just because he brings that swagger to the Raider Nation, you know, the real work starts. You know, all of this, you know, beautiful stage we're in right now. Right now we're in the honeymoon stage, you know, and all this can go downhill if we start losing very early next year. We have to start off on the right foot. Our defense has to play lights out at the beginning of the year next year. You know, with the signing of Antonio Pierce, you know, I expect a lot of free agents wanting to come to Las Vegas to play for a guy like that. You know, Antonio Pierce is a player's coach. You know, a coach that will let you be yourself, you know, but as long as you do the task at hand, and that's winning. Winning trumps everything. You know, our motto is just win, baby. And we need to really get back to those winning ways. And I really feel that with Antonio Pierce, you know, we're on our way there. You know, there's going to be a lot of people out there that say, hey, you know, he only beat backup quarterbacks. The only team that he beat were the Kansas City Chiefs. And, you know, that's not his fault, guys. He can only beat the teams that are in front of him. You know, he set the franchise record with scoring 63 points against the Chargers. You know, he beat the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs on Christmas Day in their home stadium. And, you know, we just didn't beat them. We corralled Patrick Mahomes. We had our way against those Chiefs, at least on the defensive side of the ball. And that's really where I want to focus on. Since he came in, the Raiders had the very least points per game allowed. They were 1 in points per game allowed. You know, they were top 3 in sacks, and they were also number 1 in takeaways for touchdowns. So, you know, this guy definitely made his presence felt on the defensive side of the ball. And for the fans out there saying that, hey, that was all Patrick Graham, you know, I don't agree with that. It was said that Josh McDaniels was in on the defensive meetings, and he would tell Patrick Graham what to scheme, so to speak. And when Antonio Pierce was named the head coach, he let all the reins loose, and he let Patrick Graham call his defense. So I think they're a working duo, guys. I don't think it was just Patrick Graham. You know, there's no way in hell that it was just Patrick Graham. Antonio Pierce was the defensive captain on the Giants when they won the Super Bowl. You know, Justin Tuck came out and said great things about him. Michael Strahan came out and said great things about him. All these former players of the Giants are all excited for Antonio Pierce. You know, he used to work at ESPN, and even his old colleagues are coming out and saying how excited they are for him, and that this isn't a coincidence. Because when he was in at ESPN, when he was on the Giants, he was a natural born leader. And I think that's exactly what he brings to this team. You know, finally we have a leader at the head coach position. You know, someone who's going to let you be yourself. You know, like I said in my last video, if we were to get a new coach, he would bring in a whole new staff and we would have to start all over. Why would you want to do that when we already have a top 10 defense? All we need to do is make some minor tweaks on offense, get a good quarterback in the draft, and like I said, and we're ready to rock, guys. I truly believe this was the best way to go, was Antonio Pierce. And Mark Davis really let that be known from the beginning by only interviewing 3 candidates. You know, he only interviewed Leslie Frazier, Chris Richard, and Antonio Pierce. You know, that speaks volumes that Antonio Pierce was his guy from the beginning. You know, I really feel that Raider Nation made their presence felt as well. That last game, the way that we chanted AP, the way that those fans were holding those signs, I think Mark Davis really listened to the Raider Nation and listened to his former players. Guys like Charles Woodson, you know, Marcus Allen, Howie Long, you know, even Richard Seymour. All those guys, I bet, were in Mark Davis's ear. And, you know, there's also going to be people out there saying that, hey, Antonio Pierce is too young for the job. He has no head coaching experience. That is very true. But something that he did admit that came out in the interview is that he's willing to have older people with hella coaching experience. He named guys like Tom Coughlin, Marvin Lewis. He said these guys are going to be a part of the Raiders going forward. You know, and that speaks volume, because that is something that some coaches are so, you know, so stubborn and so cocky, and they won't do. That when they become a head coach, they don't want another big name coach. They want to get all the praise. They want to get all the recognition, but not Antonio Pierce. You know, he's putting the team first. He's bringing in guys that have a lot more experience. During the season, you know, he would call Tom Coughlin weekly. You know, he's a Super Bowl winning head coach. He would call Marvin Lewis. You know, he would get these guys' opinion on how to be a coach on the day-to-day basis. You know, I'm really excited for this hire. You know, this really feels like the John Madden signing, like the John Gruden back in the 90s signing. You know, it really seems like a changing of the guard. And the fact that we went into Kansas City and we beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day, you know, I think that game solidified Antonio Pierce as the head coach. And I'm so excited for us going forward. Like I said, I expect big free agents to want to come to the Raiders. Who wouldn't want to play for a coach that lets you be yourself, guys? You know, he's really bringing that Raider mentality, that Raider swagger back. Let me know how you guys feel in the comments, how excited you are about Antonio Pierce being the head coach, and if the Raiders did make the right decision. And until next time, Raider Nation, peace.